Hello, Morongo Basin, and listeners around the world online at Z107.7fm.com. Here is the Z107.7 local news for Monday, September 9th, 2024. Smoke from the line fire burning near Highland can be seen throughout the Morongo Basin, and both San Bernardino County and the state of California have declared a state of emergency. Starting on Thursday, the line fire has burned more than 20,500 acres between the communities of Highland and Running Springs in the San Bernardino Mountains. As of last night, no containment of the fire has been achieved, and 3 firefighters have been injured. No structures have yet been damaged or destroyed. There are several evacuation orders and warnings in effect for mountain residents, but none are expected for the high desert for now. No local roads are currently closed, but you can stay up to date with evacuations and road closures at a link in this story at Z107.7fm.com. In San Bernardino tomorrow, county supervisors hold their regular twice-monthly 10 o'clock meeting. Tomorrow's agenda calls for the signing of a mutual aid agreement that is expected to enhance firefighting capabilities throughout our huge county. Here's reporter Mike Lipsitz with more on the agreement and its expected benefits.
County supervisors tomorrow are expected to approve a 5-year cooperative fire protection agreement between the County Fire Protection District, the Bureau of Land Management, Death Valley and Joshua Tree National Parks, the Mojave Preserve, and Barstow's Castle Mountain National Monument. Under the agreement, the signers will share personnel, equipment, supplies, and other services needed in the prevention, detection, and suppression of wildfires. The video conferencing center at the Bob Burt Government Center in Joshua Tree is not expected to be available for remote participation in tomorrow's meeting. Follow a link in this story at Z1077fm.com to the Board of Supervisors' full agenda. Reporting for Z1077 News, this is Mike Lipsitz.
Local emergency response agencies have set the date for a mass casualty incident drill at Joshua Tree National Park. The dates were announced last week and are currently set for February 10th, February 12th, and February 15th in 2025. Hosted by San Bernardino County Fire Protection and the National Park Service, the drill will allow local, state, and federal agencies to prepare for a coordinated response for a potential incident that leads to a large loss of life. Participating agencies include the National Park Service, the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, CHP, fire departments from the state, Marine Corps in San Bernardino and Riverside counties, the Desert Care Network, and Morongo Basin Ambulance and Mercy Air. The event will occur from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on those dates. Stay tuned to Z1077 for more information about this multi-agency mass casualty incident drill. How can the city of Twentynine Palms improve their flood response? That was the question posed to city council candidates on Friday's Z107.7 Up Close show with host Gary Daigneault. The conversation occurred one day before the city spread word of a flood advisory on social media on Saturday. Candidates running for Twentynine Palms City Council District 2, Jim Crushot, April Ramirez, and Paul Razzo, are each running to represent a district that was hit hard by recent floods. Here's Daigneault.
The district you are running for was hit the hardest by recent storms. Some residents feel the city didn't do enough with recovery and didn't do enough with preparation. How would you implement as prevention strategies, knowing how vulnerable the area is to those weather conditions?
First up, here's April Ramirez.
Actually, my home was hit pretty hard. We lost, I want to say, a good quarter of our roof, and we were flooded. So I think we could sit here and we could point the finger and point blame and say, this should have been done or that should have been done. But it's, where are we now? Some people have said this is the worst storm that they've ever seen as long as they've been here. And so I think realizing that the city did the best that they could with what they had at the time, whether that's notice, whether that's resources, to really understand, especially with my connections at a county, state, and federal level, that flood control actually comes from the county. One of the things that am in the process of doing right now is reaching out to flood control and the people that I know could probably help us get that under wraps before the monsoon season. So starting day one, I would make that a priority.
Here's Paul Razzo.
Right, I think prevention is the big statement there, because we know that this happens. We know that we have a monsoon season. I think we just have to start getting ahead of it and letting everyone know ahead of time guys, it's coming. Get your sandbags. Let's get Rubicon in here ahead of time and show them how to set up those sandbags and other solutions. We know the roads that flood. Let's have detours in place beforehand at the beginning of the season in case they do happen. And we also just need better outreach and ways to give information to our citizens. You know, when I was out there collecting signatures, it was a lot of our older members of 29 Palms that were at home, and they were wondering, well, what is the city doing? I told them, well, the city has this going on, and they're like, well, I'm not on Facebook. How am I supposed to know that? You know, so it comes down to reaching these people and making sure that they're aware of the resources that are even available. There's a way that we could, maybe extravagant idea, but appoint some block captains around our district that people could turn to and say, what are the resources here?
Here's Jim Crushot.
I think one of the first things I would do is go back and look at our emergency response plans and kind of do an after action. What did we do well? What did we not do well? In the long term, I know that we also have to do a reevaluation of our floodplain plan. I don't think that's been done since 1950s, and that would be the long term to see where are the points that we're going to have the issues. I like Paul's statement, because as I was walking around getting signatures, you got a response like, oh, I don't think the city was responsive enough or fast enough. But I do know that they coordinated with themselves and the water district and other places that had equipment to get it out there as fast as they could. But you can always make improvements.
You can hear more from all three candidates by downloading last Friday's Z107.7 Up Close show as a podcast from our website, Z107.7fm.com, or wherever you get your podcast. Stay tuned to Z107.7 in the coming weeks for more conversations with candidates running locally in the upcoming election. And finally, grief can be challenging, and the Yucca Valley Senior Center hopes to help those who are grieving with a special support group to be held tomorrow afternoon. The Yucca Valley Senior Center is pleased to host a safe space for Grieving Hearts Support Group, presented by Serenity Hospice. Bereavement support groups help people come together to share their loss and pain and offer opportunities to talk about their own grief journey while developing coping strategies to support themselves and each other. The Grief Support Group will take place at the Yucca Valley Senior Center, located at 57088 29 Palms Highway, tomorrow from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. The program is free to the public, and participants are welcome to come as you are. No reservation or registration is required. That's our local news. Hear local news 7 times a day, 7 days a week at 7, 8, 9, noon, 4, 5, and 6. If you hear about news happening, let us know. Email us at tips@z1077fm.com. Reporting for the Morongo Basin News Leader, the award-winning Z1077 Local News, I'm Jeff Harmatz.